Fourth sloka. In this sloka, Bhagavan says, when one is neither attached to sense objects nor to actions, that person is said to be elevated in the science of yoga, for having renounced all desires for the fruits of actions. Here in this sloka explains about the mind, how the mind is fixed with God. So when your mind is inclined towards God, then you get detached from the world. When you are detached from the world, there is no more craving for materials. So you are completely detached from sense objects. So you have control over your senses and extinguishing the thoughts of sense objects. So completely conquered the mind. So you are away from the material world. So there is no more self-centered activities because there is no selfish motives. So there is no self-centered activities. And the activities are to please the God, to help the people. So you get mastery over mind. So you are getting control over your mind. So achieving the complete control, that is mastery over the mind, you attain that elevated position. This is what we find when you are elevated, how the mind changes. So mind is bundle of thoughts. Now there is no thoughts of sense objects because you have won your mind and you are away from material world. So there is no thoughts of sense objects in mind. Only God is there in the mind. So there is purified mind. So there is detachment from the world. So you completely attain the stage of Yoga Rodhan. So you no more attachment with the material world. So you can be doing selfless service. So you will be doing service to God and you will be doing service to the humankind. And you don't feel like keeping anything for yourselves, and you will be very compassionate to not only to humans but also to other living creatures. So this is how the transformation takes place. This is how you bring mind and body under our control and attaining Atma Sakshatkaram. So how the process of attaining the stage of Yoga Rodhan is explained in the second sloka. So the mind no longer gushes into self-centered activities at the urge of senses. So when we achieve this level of mastery over mind, we are considered as elevated souls. So we are Yoga Rodhans. And now because mind is under control, we are able to do meditation successfully. So there is no distraction. So when you have when your mind is absorbed in God and doing meditation, naturally you are doing it very powerfully because it is you and the interaction is between you and God. Like how Dhruva, when he was a small boy, he did meditation very sincerely, very successfully, as per the instructions given by his Guru Narada Maharishi. So he fixed a Rupam of God in his mind. When God felt so happy, he appeared in front of him. When he appeared in front of him, just he opened his eyes, and he was for a minute he was scared that the image he had in his mind gone out. So he showed that jerk motion, but God is there in front of him really. So this is the power of meditation. So here there's a story. Maharishi Dadichi, he was doing meditation for a long time. They used to do for years together, months together, days together, and that was a time there was a fight between Asuras and Devas. So Devas had very powerful weapons, and they all left it with Dadichi and asked him to keep it safe. But Dadichi, when the war started between them, and Asuras started attacking him, so they were threatening him to give the um, weapons. If Devas are left without weapons, they would be definitely defeated. That was a plan of Asuras. So they asked him to give. Dadichi had promised Devas, and he wanted to help only good people. So what did he do? He swallowed all the weapons. He mixed with the water, that holy water he had in Kamandalam. He mixed all the weapons and he swallowed it. Then Devas came to Dadichi to ask for weapons. Then he said, no, for safety reason I did this. Now, you are not at loss. You kill me, then you can take it from me. But they were not for killing the Maharishi. So they didn't know what to do. Then Dadichi said, oh, I will help you. You don't worry. He created a fire and jumped into the fire, and he ended his life. And he said, take all my bones. Each one is a weapon for you. Then his backbone, Vajra, that bone, a bone changed into a weapon called Vajra. And with that, the Devas fought with Asuras, and they could kill the most powerful Asura, Vritrasur. Because the weapons the Rishi made out of his bones, the power of Vishnu was there. So the power of divine Vishnu and all was there. So Devas could win the Asuras using these weapons. So this is the power of meditation. This is the power of Jnanis. And this is the power of sadhus who do meditation when they reach the stage of karma sannyasis. They are all sannyasis. Their concentration only on God. They are interested in the public welfare and everything done for the sake of God. So naturally they were very powerful. So Devas could defeat the Asuras with those weapons given by Dadichi, the Maharishi Dadichi. So we can understand the value of meditation, how powerful the meditation is. Adi Shankara was doing meditation. Then Kapalika. The Kapalikas they were against Sanatana Dharma, and they were all they did not like, so they used to discourage the sannyasis and the followers of Sanatana Dharma. So one of the Kapalikas saw Adi Shankara, and he wanted to give him as sacrifice. So he told Adi Shankara, I am going to take you for sacrifice. I was looking for either the emperor or sannyasi. So we can do the sacrifice of either emperor or sannyasi. Now I got you a sannyasi, I am taking you. Then Adi Shankara said, you take me, but come during the night time, that is midnight. My disciples will not be aware of this. Let them not be aware of this. So I will come alone. So that he agreed. Kapalika agreed, and he went off, and he was so happy, and he was preparing the procedure there in his place. And one of the disciples of Shankara, Padmapada, he realized it. He felt that our Guru is going to get into some problem. So he was quietly watching this, and when Adi Shankara started moving, Padmapada also moved, and Padmapada did meditation on Lord Narasimha. So when Shankara went there, Kapalika welcomed him, was so happy to see him. But here Padmapada was on very deep meditation on Narasimha and asking for his help to save his Guru. There when Kapalika, he said, I am going to give you as a bali for the god of Kapalikas. Then Shankara said, yes, I promised you, I am here, you can take me. he was not perturbed because he said, I gave you a word, I have to keep up my promise. But what happened when the Kapalika was about to kill Shankara, Narsimha, Lord Narsimha appeared there. Lion came there and he killed that Kapalika and rescued Adi Shankara. So this is because of Padmapada's meditation on Lord Narsimha. Adi Shankara was so happy to have the darshan of Lord Narsimha and he composed a song on Lord Narasimha. So this is the power of meditation. And these sannyasis, their concentration is fully on God. Their activities, their thoughts, everything on God. So their undivided attention is on God. So naturally, they are able to meditate very sincerely, very honestly, and very religiously. So that such kind of meditation is very powerful. So here in Adi Shankara's case, Lord Narasimha appeared and saved Adi Shankara. And in Dadichi's case, the Devas got the weapons, and because Maharishi made arrangement for that, and Asuras were destroyed. So this is what explained in these two slokas. So how the techniques of meditation, what ought to be followed. So let's follow this and lead a very peaceful life, especially during this time. There are so many things bothering us. Let's not be panic and do nothing. Let's keep only God in our mind and come out of the fear. If there is no fear, we can fight against anything.